All right, we are back in Hartford, Connecticut tonight. This time 2009 for Tyler's first show. A lot of people's first show in 2009, which does make sense. You know, a lot of people discovered and fell in love with the band while they were off, and they were shoving people out of the way to get tickets in 2009. So punch you in the bag, AC/DC bag, punch you in the bag. Yeah, I'll punch you in the ball bag, buddy. Punch you in the eye, AC/DC bag, and NICU. A nice little trio to start things out. But that's not why the show became, kind of a classic. Starting right here is when things heated up. And I was at one of these shows in 2019 where there's, just some great songs, bust out songs. This one lacked the big giant Ruby Waves jam like we got that night. Down with Disease started to, it was teetering on the brink a little bit there. And, then it dropped down into Wilson. Had a little bit of a Reba jam feeling here. And I also felt like I was hearing it in Birds of a Feather. In fact, when I was listening to it for the first time, and that was part of the problem. I didn't take any notes of any kind. It's an awesome day here today. I mostly just sat out on the back porch this morning and afternoon and listened to the show. Didn't take any mental notes, any physical notes. And then when I was hearing Reba in the Birds of a Feather jam, I was like, oh, I thought it was Down with Disease. Well, it certainly was Down with Disease, but I felt like I heard it there as well. Stash, one of the major highlights of the first set, right there in the middle section of Stash. Trey doing some yo-yoing on his guitar or something. Maybe it was the tone on Birds of a Feather. I don't know. Then over here, we get our first vacuum solo of the summer, Trey said, from John Moses DeWitt Brown. Oh, I even forget the name. I forget. It was complicated. You had to forgive me for that one. Trey kind of jammed me up there. Then we get the Mike and Leo song, Character Zero in the set, back in its familiar spot. So the Stash and Birds of a Feather were awesome. Let's not overlook Lawn Boy here. It was in there. Punch You in the Bag. All right, guy. I don't know, man. I don't understand what. I just can't. I think it was the lack of notes of any kind. I don't know. And maybe just there's been so much said about this show. It's like, what do you need me to pile on for in 2024? We got the Setlist tee here. Oh yeah, I should mention also maybe it was the sound check that kicked this whole thing off. If you're not familiar with setlisttees.com, obviously they're pretty self-explanatory. I'll include a link in the description down below. Tyler, you may want to buy this shirt to commemorate your first show, the Lamppost Party. That was a big part of it. Probably should even slap that on the whiteboard somewhere there. And then, everything like Ghost, Birds of a Feather, Stash, it was all pretty much type 1. Nothing went too deep, like mostly in 2009. They really didn't have the ability to go too deep. Slave to the Traffic Light, that's another thing that maybe kicked it off. Like the jam in this was nice and then kind of jumped into Wilson there. A weird but welcome spot for Wilson, for me anyhow, was Did It Rain? Water in the Sky just felt really out of place. The Piper, it was good, but not great. I felt like every Piper is great. This one was okay. It definitely had its moments, but then more moments where it wasn't. Psycho Killer was not great at all, actually. I love that they played it. Maybe they should have never played it again after that AC/DC bag, Psycho Killer at the Nutter Center. And then with Trey Pong, we got into a Catapong, really, which then led in, if there was no narration over here, boy, Trey just couldn't shut up during Iculus. It was John, Moses, Brown, DeWitt, Hartford. I don't know, man. Damn it, what was his name? So then we get into the 8th day in a row. I listened to You Enjoy Myself, a song I really do love. Like I said recently, it's one of my favorite songs, but, if they're not playing it live, and I'm just not listening to YEM every single day, basically, is what I'm getting at here. I don't know. So it is kind of wearing on me a little bit, the vocal jam. But then this one wasn't anything extraordinary. It was just an okay YEM. And then, so maybe it's kind of started to, flame out a little bit down. You see this on the set list, you're like, wow, you probably had to be there for that. 15 years later on the live Phish app, I don't know. I don't know, Tyler. I don't know what happened. I'll probably upload both recaps. You guys decide which is better. Maybe I shouldn't sit outside and listen to shows. This is the problem. I did that with one of the Dick shows last year. I don't know. All right, guys. Thank you for watching, and maybe I'll take a day off tomorrow or something. That's the other thing. When they're touring live, I get some days off. It's just doing these every day. It's the YEM jamming me up, man. I'm telling you, whatever this show is tomorrow, whoever requested, I don't know. I'll take a look. I got one coming up. If there's a YEM, I'm giving that guy his $5 back and saying, fuck you. Boom, boom, boom. They're probably like, what, he doesn't like YEM now? Nah, I do. I love YEM. It's just driving me a little crazy, you know? I wouldn't ever purposely listen to a vocal jam 8 days in a row. Boom. Love you guys. We're out of here.